you're not gonna stand, yeah, right, you're standing there, you're not going back behind. So,
My stool might bother you.
I'll just kick it if it bothers me.
You can knock it down and then I can pick it up.
Exactly,
Okay.
that's a plan.
All right. If that happens, I will do that.
Exactly.
What's that?
I said, are you sure we don't need to discuss that?
Yeah, we can discuss it because it's
Are you able to check us?
What?
I was trying to remember who was there the 28th, but that's me.
Oh, I like this picture. This is absolutely. Yes. We do not want to.
I didn't even
Oh, last year the interview was 3 hours long because we moved on. And surprised the board and everything. Jim, you know the process. Why didn't you talk about it with us? So that we can have a surprise and oh well. So it says, so this just says, remember the 3 hour meeting last year in the budget conference. We want to avoid that issue. So it says. This thing is funny. So I put hymnals on the and I'm going to stand. I'll probably stand at the podium too. While I do that, yes, I will probably go down at this point and then come back for announcements. So I don't have to sit here. I do a 20-minute sermon. Oh, wait a minute. So I don't have to okay, you do that.
That's kind of fun feature.
I'm so glad you stepped up and somebody could do it. Oh, it's leaving that post. Oh no.
Just let me know, you know, if you're gonna do this. Very little.
Well, that's one of the things when we were running it is we had we just kept doing it.
Is reliable, we show up, you know, they just need somebody to do all the work. You know, and I like it, but,
Yeah.
some other things that are, that could change,
I
but
guess. What can I do to change your mind? We need you.
maybe we can talk.
There's What am I together? Good morning. Please rise as you are able to join us in a song for gathering, number 1058, Be Ours a Religion. Pong Chang will play it once through, and then we shall sing.
If everybody will join me in the words of the chalice lighting. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the helping hands. This is the church of the loving heart. Together we care for the church and each other.
Welcome. Good morning. I'm Edie Holder, and I am Worship Associate today, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to St. John's Universalist Church. St. John's is proud to be a welcoming congregation, and as such, we honor and value the racial, economic, cultural, age, physical ability, sexual orientation, and gender diversity of our members and friends. In other words, anybody who walks in our door and those who haven't yet found us are all welcome. Know that wherever you are in your journey and however you are feeling, you are welcome here, and we're happy you chose to be with us today, both in the sanctuary and online. A special welcome to visitors this morning. I invite you to stop by the welcome table in our lobby and to join us for refreshments and conversation in our fellowship hall after the service. Beltane is on May 1, but we're celebrating it today, UU time, or because we were at First Church last week with the program about the UUSC. So, in honor of Beltane, which is the cross quarters between the the spring equinox and the summer solstice. Paganism is an earth-centered religion. So, for the beauty of the earth, this spinning blue ball, yes, Gaia, mother of everything, we walk gently across your back to come together again in this place, to remember how we can live, to remember who we are, to create how we will be. Gaia, our home, the lap in which we live, welcome us. As a reminder, please turn off or silence your cell phones, and again, welcome. Now, the reading is from the writing of Jan Richardson, an ordained minister in the United Methodist Church, artist and author. How the Light Comes, because we're at the equinox, we were at the midpoint where it's equal day and night, and we're heading up to summer solstice where it's going to be the longest day of the year. So light is increasing every day right now. How the light comes. I cannot tell you how the light comes. What I know is that it is more ancient than imagining, that it travels across an astounding expanse to reach us, that it loves searching out what is hidden, what is lost, what is forgotten, or in peril, or in pain, that it has a fondness for the body, for finding its way toward flesh, for tracing the edges of form, for shining forth through the eye, the hand, the heart. I cannot tell you how the light comes, but that it does, that it will, that it works its way into the deepest dark that enfolds you. Though it may seem long ages in coming or arrive in a shape you did not foresee. And so, may we this day turn ourselves toward it. May we lift our faces to let it find us. May we bend our bodies to follow the arc it makes. May we open and open more and open still to the blessed light that comes. And now join us in hymn, as you are able, please stand. In hymn number 175, we celebrate the web of life.
Now, if you would join me in the affirmation of faith, which is located in your bulletin. This is the mission of our faith, to teach the fragile art of hospitality, to revere both the critical mind and the generous heart, to prove that diversity need not mean divisiveness, and to witness to all that we must hold the whole world in our hands. All of us carry with us every day joys, sorrows, and concerns. We'd like to invite you to join us in sharing those by coming up and placing a stone in the bowl of sand. If you would like yours shared with the congregation, please write it down and leave it on the table. If you're joining us online, you can leave it in the chat. I'd like to invite Matthew up to do the children's story.
But before that, I placed a stone for all those joys and sorrows that remain unspoken and live in our hearts.
Should I have a microphone? Maybe I can talk loud.
Is there a microphone right there? Ready for you.
Okay. Good morning. Today, we have a book called The Dandelion Seed. It's a pretty story. This is a good time of year for gardening. I don't know how many people are growing dandelions, but I'm thinking about it. You like to put it in your salad. All right, here we go. It was autumn in the garden. All the flowers had died and dropped their seeds. Only one seed was left, a little dandelion seed who was afraid to let go. But the winter wind began to blow. The stronger the wind blew, the tighter the seed hung on until it felt the wind blowing right through it. Then the seed left the garden behind. It became part of the wind and was carried away. The world was bigger than the seed ever imagined. It's flying through the air. It was also more frightening, more lonely. The seed is flying through the city, flying among the skyscrapers. And the world was more beautiful. It's flying on the beach now. The more the seed saw, the smaller it felt. You can see the mountains and the countryside. You see where the seed is? It's flying through the air right there. It wondered where it belonged. The seed landed when snow began to fall. It listened in silence as peace covered it like a blanket. Passed right by a cow, too. And there's just snow on the ground. Finally, spring came. Sunshine warmed the air and the soil, and the little seed began to grow tiny leaves and roots. Its leaves spread wide to gather sunlight. Its roots reached deep to drink fresh rain. Soon, the seed flowered into the bright, delicate dandelion it was meant to be. It shared its green leaves with deer and rabbits. So deer like to eat dandelions. It gave sweet nectar to bees and butterflies. Then, almost overnight, the life that began as one little dandelion seed ripened into many. They each became part of the wind and were carried away. All except one. "Don't be afraid," whispered the dandelion. "The wind and the sun and the rain will take care of you. Let go, and you will see." You will see. And now it gets blown off too by a little kid. So that's it. That's the cycle of that seed. Okay, kids. Go ahead.
As Edie mentioned, we have placed a couple of additional stones in the bowl to represent those joys, concerns, and sorrows left unspoken, and as a reminder that we all share in these journeys together. I'm not much of a prayer person, so I have chosen a prayer from the UUA website written by Lynn Cox. Let me double check, make sure there weren't any. We did have one, not working. I'm not seeing any joys and concerns from those online, but we did have one. Jim McDonough, our member and finance trustee, fell and broke his hip on a voyage to England. He has had surgery and is recovering well. He will not be home for another week or so. Please keep him in your thoughts for comfort and healing. This is called Prayer of Co-Creation, if you will join me in an attitude of meditation. Creative Spirit, source of life and love, we give thanks for the beauty of this day and for the company of those assembled here. Thank you for the breezes of change, clearing our heads and bringing fresh ideas. May they cleanse our minds of the oppressions and isms that divide us. Thank you for the flame of hope, the heat of righteous anger, the warmth of compassion, and the fire of commitment. May they bubble in the cauldrons of transformation. Thank you for oceans of love, rivers of connection, tears of relief, and pools of serenity. May healing waters flow over us and through us and among us, wearing down the sharp rocks of despair to bring joy in the morning. Thank you for the good earth beneath us, around us, and within us. May we take this clay and co-create a new realm of justice and beauty. Thank you for all these and more. We accept our gifts and commit to building, sculpting, painting, singing, and dancing them to life, to abundant life. And now is the time for our offertory. Please give as you are able. Thank you. thank you for your gifts and for the continued support of the church and its people. I chose a reading before the sermon today by Orion Mountain Dreamer. You may have heard this. It is about the labyrinth and about our journey in this life. What if life is not a maze, but a labyrinth? A path that meanders to give us different views, doubles back on itself to give us multiple chances to see clearly. Let us revisit our joys and sorrows, but in the end, always take us to the sacred center, to life, to love, to the wholeness of which we are made and by which we are held. How would imagining life this way affect the quality of your day? The thing about the labyrinth is that you don't have to worry about the destination. That's assured. We can relax and play with different ways to travel: fast, slow, stretching upward, turning inward, low to the ground, dancing, paying attention to that which is around us. The possibilities and opportunities to contribute are endless. It's not a problem to be solved, not a test to be passed, but a journey to savor and drop into with each step. I kind of want to just stand here and listen to the birds this morning. Yeah, I was worried about not having light on this day we're celebrating Beltane, and we have birds. It's just as good. Last week, May 1st, was the pagan Sabbat of Beltane. You probably know it as May Day. When I was in elementary school, we danced the maypole every year with no understanding and really no care about why we were doing it. We got to dress up and we got to dance all in front with all of our parents and grandparents and teachers watching. We didn't care why we were doing it. It was just fun. And that's really what this season is all about. As one of the 8 Sabbats in paganism, Beltane lies midway between the spring equinox, or Ostara, and the summer solstice, or Litha. It's the preparation for summer. But this time of year is not just important to pagans. We just have a fancy name for it. I suspect everyone feels the spirit of Beltane: growth, hope, renewal. New buds on barren trees, baby geese and squirrels chasing after their mothers, long sunny days that draw us outside to play. At this time of year, I'm compelled to look forward toward all of the changes and possibilities, but also backward to how things were. The pagan celebration of the cycles of seasons has taught me to view everything as a continuous and sacred journey. As with all pagan festivals, you'll find a variety of stories that tell of Beltane's origins. And as with all things pagan, many of those stories will be rooted in Christianity's attempts to erase traditions that are different from its own. I personally don't care much about origins. I'm learning to just appreciate and live fully in whatever is right now. For those who like to hear about origins, though, the word Beltane is from the 15th century Scottish, meaning May 1st, which was recognized as the start of summer in Ireland, also in Scotland and in Man. Dig a little deeper, and you'll find claims that the word comes from Proto-Indo-European and Irish roots, meaning to burn and fire, and is often associated with the Celtic god of fire, Belenus. But whatever the etiology of the word, there is little question that this is a time of celebration, of passion, and of growth, and it is a period of important transition, a welcoming of the light part of the year, much like Samhain is a welcoming of the dark. And also, like Samhain, it is seen as a time of the year when the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest. One of the things I've learned is that transitional periods are painful, but also that they are essential for growth and for moving forward. I have a feeling 2023 is going to be one of those transitional years, not just personally, but for you and for this community. But since it's hard to see the positive forces at work during a period of deep transition, I'm going to set this year aside for now and take a look back for just a minute at 2020, a year of transition, pain, and yes, growth for some of us, for most of us. I quit my job in March of 2020. I've been there for 16 years, but the environment was so toxic, quitting was the only thing I could do for me. I had a part-time job lined up, a kind of placeholder until I could develop my own businesses or find work that was fulfilling in an environment that was safer. My timing was really bad. I left just 3 days before they sent everybody home for work because of the pandemic. My part-time job fell through, I had no money, and people were not hiring, so I also had no income for the foreseeable future. It was a hard several months, but it proved to be both a necessary and life-changing journey for me, and one that came at the exact time I and others needed it. During that time between March and October, I spent most of my days caring for my 2 cats. Rissa, my 17-year-old tabby, had an undiagnosed cavity, tumor or mass in her sinus cavity. Silk, an 11-year-old tortie, had lymphoma. I held them, I sang to them, I played with them and cleaned up after them and transported them back and forth to the vet during those months. They reminded me of the importance of living for right now, of living with and through the hard times, and of holding those close who we find dear. I lost both of them. During those months, leaving an emptiness unlike any I had ever known. I worked hard to transform that darkness, though, into a light, open space. And at the end of the year, I gave home to two more beautiful kitties in need. One other thing about 2020, the labyrinth found me that year. I had returned to St. John's in desperate need for community. And in our first conversation, Reverend Meacher told me that about the canvas labyrinth that you used to walk here before I came back. I was intrigued. I became active in the Labyrinth Society as an editor and regional rep liaison, held a short workshop on journaling and the labyrinth for some folks here, and added a labyrinth workshop to my more formal journaling course. I learned a lot during this time about this design. Most recognizable designs are really just fancy spirals. Even the more uncommon, squarish ones have paths that travel in and out and a center for a brief respite. There are all sorts of creatively designed labyrinths. There are even a couple with a chalice at the center. These are not mazes. The maze is designed to confuse with multiple dead ends, but the labyrinth has one path in and that same path out. The labyrinth is designed to guide. Serious labyrinth walkers often walk with the 4 R's in mind. Before entering, we remember that we are blessed, that we are perfect as we are, and we gather our thoughts before we begin our walk. As we journey along the path toward the center, we release our thoughts and worries, letting go and opening our hearts. As we reach the center, with our open hearts, we are emptied to receive whatever the universe has to offer us. And as we move back out of the labyrinth along the same path we entered, we seek to resolve, to make changes in our lives that will honor our journey. Before I enter a labyrinth, I remember that the only thing that matters is right now. Moving forward, I release the worries and tensions of the week. I breathe naturally, watching my breath and letting go of sadness and concerns, allowing my heart to fully open. I am grateful for what awaits me at the center. Sometimes I get nothing. Sometimes I gain an insight into a concern I've had. But often I receive my reminders to be mindful of my breath, of the way my tortie bites my toes, of my black Manx and her tiny, always wagging stub of a tail, of the pale blue sky and the light breeze against my skin. I return refreshed and ready to face whatever awaits me, renewed. This past year has been, much like 2020, and if I'm honest, much like every year, an act of balancing more than anything else. Balancing insightful, even at times joyful moments with that one more thing that seemed to lurk around every corner. A mixture of blessings, disappointments, surprises, and heartbreaks, and each seemed to hold within it that spiral, a sacred path from beginning to center and back again. Life unfolds in its own way and in its own time. We only need to move with it. Now, everyone should have received a labyrinth card when they came into the sanctuary. Anybody not receive one? Okay. Doug is gonna pass those out. Doug and David will. While those are still being passed out, I just want to tell you what we're going to do here. We're just going to take 5 minutes, and Peng Chang is going to play a soft piece on the piano, and we're going to do a labyrinth walk. We went, some folks in our spirit joined with Heritage yesterday and did a labyrinth walk at Heritage, which was beautiful. And I wish we could do the dance that we did because it was very cool. But since it's raining and since we don't have a labyrinth here, I thought we would just do this individually with cards. No wrong way to walk a labyrinth. I usually start at the beginning, down at your entrance is at the bottom of your card, and move my way to the center and then back out again. And again, no wrong way to walk it, and if you don't feel anything, that's fine, but be open to what might come to you. Thank you, Pop Jane, and thank you. I'd like to welcome the choir forward now for their anthem.
And now, oh, whoops. Mary Lynn, you're next. Sorry. Left my glasses up here so I couldn't read.
Hi, I'm Mary Lynn Schuster, and I'm here to do the pledge moment. So I started coming to St. John's in about 2010. After a very long process of the Catholic faith I grew up with becoming less comfortable and more problematic for me, and a very long and winding path of reflection and exploration, I landed here, and it felt like coming home. Now, as many of us do, I attended and was involved for a while before I joined the church. I remember when I signed the book and I made my pledge and I started contributing regularly. It really was a special moment for me. It meant declaring my commitment to the community, declaring my alignment with our values, and having this special community represent me as I represented you. Over the last 15 years or so, I've been involved in a lot of different ways and at different levels. I've been on the nominating committee, I was president of the board, I worked in religious exploration with the children. I organized the circle suppers a few times. I'm in the choir. I am taking a break, but I will be back. I've been on the Green Sanctuary Committee. I brought soup for many partner lunches. I coordinated the partner lunches this past year and many, many other things. I've also had seasons where I had to step back, either stepping back from volunteering and for a while stepping back from being here for our weekly service. stepping back, doing what I needed to do in my life, and knowing I was supported even so. I maintained my membership and my pledge because it was important to me to know that this community was doing its good work and representing me, whether I could be at the forefront at the moment or not. I feel better about my pledge to St. John's than any other religious organization I have ever been a member of. Because it's not just about keeping the lights on and the heats on so we have some place to gather, although that is necessary and very important. It's about putting my resources towards my values, the Split the Plate, Interfaith Hospitality Network, and Found House, our work towards racial justice and social justice and immigration and returning citizens and being a welcoming congregation for all. I am a part of that. Whether I am on every committee or not, we are supporting each other and that work is getting done. So the board is finalizing the draft budget, and knowing how much everyone will give is key to successful planning to keep all that going. Today, pledge team members Charles Spencer and Winnie Goodridge will be outside the sanctuary with pledge forms and have answers to any questions you may have. We invite all members and friends who have not yet pledged to stop by today. Thank you.
And now it is time for that all-important part of our service, the announcements. So, as you may have noticed, the weather didn't cooperate, so we're not going to dance the maypole. But Claire wants to know if we can reschedule, and as far as I'm concerned, that's up for discussion. Let's see. I think we should take a look around and notice that our sanctuary renovations are underway and say yay for scaffolding. I spent a long time figuring out how did they get up the scaffolding, but you know, it's there. I just couldn't see it. So, first and more serious announcement comes from Nancy Henry, and it's in the announcements. But please point out to people that there are 2 sessions for them to give input on the 2023-24 budget before the annual meeting on June 4th. She wants to remind you that there was a 3-hour meeting last year when the budget conversation went on, and then we had to have another meeting in July to finally adopt the budget. These input sessions are your chance to address issues so that we don't repeat that. Please come. There's a Zoom meeting on Monday, May 15th, and in-person and Zoom are May 21st. So check the order of service. Also look at the e-news for links. Thank you from Nancy. And team leaders and committee chairs, it's time to write your annual report so that it'll be ready for our annual meeting on June 4th. Please email yours to Debbie Combs by May 15th. As you may have noticed coming in, the annual auction was yesterday, and there still are items out in Hanley and probably Crow Pfeiffer for you to take a look at. And as Mary Lynn said, we're wrapping up our pledge campaign for our operating budget. And in the insert, there are many activities. We have a fair number of activities for you to attend any and all. There's game day on. Find the date. Game day on May 20th, hosted by the UU Game Group. There's meditation. Meditation on Wednesdays, and in Hanley Hall, and this is Erna Olafson is offering that. Compassionate Communication Group meets on the 2nd and 4th Mondays, offered by, does it say Pamela Wills? And Mistakes and Miracles, which is the discussion of the UU Common Read, Mistakes and Miracles, Congregations on the Road to Multiculturalism, and that's offered by Diane Long. All members that are stepping up and helping us. And that is all I have. I think I did that. I'm sorry? I said the auction. Raffle tickets, right. But the auction isn't fully over beyond the things that are out there for you to look at. The drawing for the raffle tickets will be after church during coffee hour. Not now. Oh, now, come. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on. I'm just pretending to know.
Good. It's all good. Hi, everybody. Yay! Thank you so much to everyone who came yesterday, aside from our main co-chairs group, and I want to thank all the volunteers that helped out, and a huge round of applause for Amy Monson. She put together all of that food by herself, and I think she handmade half of the offerings out there, so I really want to give her a big thank you. There's still a ton of food out there from yesterday, and she came early to pre-arrange all of it all over again, so please do that. There are still some things to bid on. You can name your best offer and bring it up. We are collecting payments. I have receipts. I know the raffle, but let me think, a couple more things. There were 2 raffle opportunities. There's the one for the Murphin Ridge gift certificate, and then there's the one for the ballet. We still need about 10 tickets to be sold for the ballet. So we're still selling those after church. And then that's 2 chances to win. So 2 pairs of tickets, 1 pair for June 10th at 2 p.m. and another for June 17th at 2 p.m. There's more details out in Grillpfeiffer. So, and then we're gonna pull the raffle, and then I'm gonna tell you the total that we raised. I personally have 6 tickets in here, so I am not going to be the person that pulls it, but Doug is gonna pull it for us. Yay! All right, we'll talk later. Okay, and then the grand total that we raised without the stuff you're gonna buy after church and for the raffle for the ballet is $7,600. So, yay! Thank you, everyone. Oh, and a really big thank you to, who was it, Pete and Cheryl yesterday, who helped me just divide up the tickets that were put in here from the ones I accidentally left in here from last year. Which I discovered about an hour into the auction. I promise that this ticket is definitely from this year. We had people put their names on it, and we checked all the numbers, so we're good, but a little shout out. Thanks. I'll throw these away now.
Thank you, Erin, and I apologize that I didn't have this in my notes to remember I needed to bring her up. Well, please rise as you are able, and we'll sing the final hymn, number 399, Beneath the Vine and Fig Tree, from the Old Testaments.
I knew it was here somewhere. Too many papers. Remember that you are water. Cry, cleanse, flow, let go. Remember that you are fire. Burn, tame, adapt, ignite. Remember that you are air. Observe, breathe, focus, decide. Remember that you are earth. Ground, give, build, heal. Remember that you are spirit. Connect, listen, know, be still. Go now in peace and honor your journey. Reach out to those others in their journeys as well. Thank you.